Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Jim McCarty, and this is May the 4th, 2022. And today I have with me Jeanito Calver, and Jeanito's actually from New York, right?
Sure.
Yeah. And so you basically grew up in New York?
Grew up in New York, born and raised, Brooklyn, New York.
All right.
Yep.
Good. Well, if you wouldn't mind, do I have permission to take this and then share it?
Sure.
You know, in my marketing, so we can help other people that have.
Yeah,
Can you tell us a little bit, Jeanito, on what brought you here? Tell us your story.
Yeah. So, about 2.5 years ago, December 14th, 2019, I was rear-ended at a stop sign. Totaled the whole back of my car. The rear windshield came flying in, and I suffered a whiplash.
And didn't you say it was a car hit another car who hit you, and the car in the middle flipped several times?
Exactly. Yes. Yes. So I was actually the second car affected in the crash.
Yeah.
The first car that the young lady initially hit, he flipped over and went into a ditch.
Yeah.
And he banged into me.
Yeah.
Totaled me. And fortunately I didn't go into a ditch.
Yeah.
But I did suffer a totaled car and a whiplash.
Did the symptoms show up right away?
So they didn't show up right away. So originally I thought I was fine. Hopped out the car, you know, walked around, made sure everyone was okay. Actually went down the ditch, checked on the guy, kind of pull him out the car. And yeah, I just felt it was, all right, I'm cool. I felt my body, my back, my neck. It was, I guess it was too fast and too abrupt for me to actually, you know, recognize what had just happened to me.
Right.
I was probably off of adrenaline, off of shock, and I didn't register what just happened. So about 2 weeks later now, fast forward 2 weeks later, January 5th, 2020, the welcoming of 2020, January 5th. You know, I'm sure that the world has been affected by 2020. And I'd say in February, March, the world actually shut down due to coronavirus.
Yeah.
But my world had shut down January 5th of 2020.
Okay.
When I started to first experience some of these symptoms.
Yeah.
I felt like a tightness in the back of my head, like somebody was just gripping me and with immense strength, just kind of holding me in the back of my head.
Yep.
I couldn't stretch it out. I couldn't, certain positions I'd sit, I felt the pressure. I'd lay down on my left, felt pressure, lay down on my right, felt the pressure. There was no way where I could find a comfortable position with what the pressure that I was feeling.
And where was you feeling the pressure? In your head?
Yeah, so I was feeling it originally back here in the head.
Yep.
The first symptoms were in the back of the head, right here, and kind of like in the base area. And then gradually, as I guess whatever had happened took place,
right.
The head started to, a pressure on the whole head now started to kind of develop.
Right.
And more so on the right side of the head, where most of my symptoms were.
Okay.
The left side, for the most part, was okay, but I felt a lot of pressure on the right side. It's like my head was kind of like getting squeezed, like kind of like mashed in.
All right.
And so
and what'd you do? Did you go to the doctor?
So I didn't go to the doctor originally.
Okay.
Initially, I didn't go to the doctor. I spent the first month kind of.
Did you think it was just going to go away by itself?
I thought it was gonna. Yeah, I just thought maybe I had a headache or something. I actually did go to the doctor. Pardon me. I did go to the doctor when the accident happened.
Yeah.
And just to get doctor's note, just in case I needed to, you know, for proof or whatever.
Right.
I did go to the doctor. I told him, hey, this is what happened, but I feel fine. The 2 weeks later, I forgot to mention that. The 2 weeks later, when I felt that pain, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was at work, and once I felt that pain, I'm like, this is a pain that I've never felt in my life before, and it didn't feel like something that I could just probably, it can go away just like that.
Okay.
It felt like I needed medical attention, like on the spot.
Okay.
So I was at work, and I didn't even clock out. I just left work and luckily there was a hospital 2 blocks away on 14th Street, Manhattan. And I ran over there and I'm like, hey, like I'm feeling this weird stuff and I've never felt it before and this and that. I explained to them that I was in an accident 2 weeks prior. And I don't know if this is the effects of whatever happened that's kicking in now.
Yep.
And
what did they do? What did they do?
It kind of wrote me off, man. Like it's the nurse. She kind of insinuated that I was having an anxiety attack.
Okay.
And you know, no knock against anyone with anxiety or anything of that sort, but I lived my whole life prior to this incident and I've never suffered anxiety attacks.
Right.
You know. So with her throwing that at me, I'm like, nah, I might be anxious because something's going on now that I have no clue of what's happening.
Yes.
But I'm not having an anxiety attack. So she gave me muscle relaxers. They gave me things like head pills and things of that nature, Percocets, and I denied them. Well, I took them.
Yep.
But when I got home, I threw it out. I'm like, I'm not gonna start with these drugs,
right,
when I know this isn't the solution to what I'm feeling right now.
Okay.
And I've always had the mindset of, you know, never to overconsume these drugs because they're just, you know, quick fixes. They're just there to kind of, you know, flirt with whatever's going on or try to approach it, but it's not really hitting the root cause of whatever's going on.
Right.
It's kind of like a quick Band-Aid. So you know, I threw those out, and then from that point on, I decided, like, all right, that's when the you know, the macho in me kicked in.
Right.
I'm like, all right, we're just gonna have to work out this, you know, we're gonna have to hit the gym harder now. We're gonna have to train the spine. We're gonna have to strengthen the neck area. We're gonna have to change our diet. We're gonna have to eat healthier. We're just gonna have to completely 360 transform our life to kind of counteract whatever's going on right now.
Okay.
And then so yeah, from that point on, I switched it around. Well, I tried to. I won't say I switched it around. I tried to go back to the doctor in March.
Okay.
March of 2020.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I was dealt with. We're not taking in-person visits now because the world is shut down with COVID.
Yes.
So here am I, like, I'm facing a life-altering tragedy in a sense.
Yes. And you can't even get in.
I can't even get in to see a doctor right now.
Right.
Because the whole world is also going through something.
Right.
So I'm going through something with the world.
Yes.
Along with my something.
Yes. So what'd you do?
So I swallowed that pill. I swallowed that pill, dug deeper into the heart. I'm like, we gotta get through this how we can. If we can't get the help from the meds or from the medical doctors, we gotta get it from however we could do it.
Okay.
So, you know, I took on yoga, I took on stretching. I was already into meditating, deep breathing exercises, so I picked up these things even more.
Right.
Meditation, yoga, stretching, working out. I even ran because I figured if I'm in the position of running, maybe the body will get linear.
Yep.
So I always had a liking for running, but the liking went to a different level.
Okay.
At that time, I was running actually a mile or two a day. I usually ran more miles, but I'm like, I'll do a mile or two a day just to let the body know we're still in this motion.
Yes.
Yeah. So I ran, worked out, changed my diet. Well, I got more strict with my diet. My diet had already been in a decent place, but I got a little bit more strict with my diet. I just that's the approach that I went. I just switched my whole life around. Yeah.
How did that work for you? What did it help? How much did it help?
It helped. It helped in a sense with hope.
Okay.
Yeah, it helped with a sense with hope. So it put me in a place like, all right, if we go about it this route, at least we can hope things will gradually fall into place and we can actually get to a place one day where I did 6 months of this. I did 12 months of hard-nosed devotion to this to actually get to that place.
Okay.
So
then what happened?
So fast forward, I did that for about a year and a half, working out, eating different, meditating. The pressure and the head pain actually, it started to settle into my body. Like it started to reveal to me like, hey, this is what's going on with you now. You have this head pain. Like this stuff is actually here now.
Yes.
This is not like a headache that we can kind of work out or oh, you feeling this way? Take this, take that, or do this. This was something that was kind of like, hey, I'm here. I'm a part of your life now.
Right.
All right. So receive me. I'm here with you now.
Okay.
Which was I didn't want to swallow that pill at all. I refused to swallow that pill.
Okay.
Yeah. So whole life kind of just changed a little bit socially. I kind of got to myself a little bit. I didn't want to be around people anymore because I felt like I wasn't putting my most organic self on display.
Right.
Because something was in the way. It felt like a veil was in front of me. I was kind of living through a cloudy plastic glass that, well, not plastic veil that was just my view of life now. So everything just seemed blurry. Like you're standing in front of me right now. Obviously you're in front of me, but I'd see you through a cloudy lens in a sense.
Okay.
And that became my whole perspective of kind of life. Like,
then what happened? So that went on 2.5 years, right?
It went on 2.5 years.
And it got a little better, but not, it just kind of settled in and it was there affecting you every day.
Yeah. It just was
your
kind of
quality
like,
of life.
Yeah, it just was like, hey, this is who we are. That's what's happening now. That's how your life will be lived now. And I felt these things. I started to feel pain in my right eye.
And you're how old now?
I'm 31 now. Yeah, this happened at 29.
Okay.
So I felt pain in my right eye. I guess because the occipital nerve was compressed or...
So you had pain in the back of your head, pain in the front of your head on the right.
On the right side, pain along the whole right side of the skull.
Okay.
The whole inside of the brain, like the brain actually felt like I'm not free. It felt like someone was like kind of holding my brain down.
Okay.
In a sense, right? Well, for lack of a better explanation.
Then how'd you find me?
Yeah, so that's when one night I was just searching the net like I usually do. That's became a thing of mine since this happened, searching ways to kind of heal myself and alternatives on things to do with trying to diagnose myself also. Because a lot of these doctors, they were just telling me like, hey, you probably got a pinched nerve. So they'll give me a shot, cortisone shot or a Botox shot. They'll tell me to go to a chiropractor, massages. Just a lot of these things that weren't the answer because I was still feeling them. I saw a chiropractor.
I think you told me you saw the chiropractor and the massage therapist, and that those things did help, but they tended to help temporarily and a little bit.
Exactly. It's just like you're massaging me. You can massage, an ill person and they'll feel okay for that moment. Yeah. But it's not curing them. It's not fixing what's going on. It's not hitting the root of what's going on.
So you were doing your research again on the internet at night.
Doing my research, continuing, perseverance, not stopping, not swallowing that pill and accepting that this is how life will be. Yep. I was not going to do that. And kept doing research. And I guess this day you popped up on my YouTube feed when I searched Occipital Neuralgia because I figured, hey, if you're feeling pain here, I learned that the occipital nerve ran here, and I tied that into my eye pain. And I'm like, wait, if I'm feeling eye pain and I have head pressure, maybe I have occipital neuralgia. Okay. So I kind of was diagnosing myself in a sense, like correct. Maybe this is what it is.
Well, the doctor's offices were closed down.
Doctor's offices are closed down. I can't really get a doctor's aid. So I'm here in front of the internet all day on top of COVID. Right. This is in 2020, the first year, 20. Kobe passed away in January 26th. Right. This happened January 5th. Yep. So, and it's 2020. The whole year is like blows.
Yeah. So one of my videos popped up. Was that the one with the Hispanic fella in it?
Yes.
With Matthew?
Yes. So one of your videos popped up, and first video I clicked on was a young man, Hispanic, and I just clicked on his video, trying to hear his story. I watched the testimonial video first before anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me see, you know, if this is actually true. So I watched this video, and how he described the release. He described that, I guess once you perform the balloon and things of that nature, he described that he felt a pressure kind of lift from his head. And he said, I'm getting chills just explaining that, man. But when I was watching the screen and how he described how he felt the pressure relief,
yes,
I'm like, there goes someone that understands it.
yes,
He probably got what I got going on. I was getting emotional watching him. I'm like, he probably has what I have going on. I think I found what I got going on, and this young man actually experienced a relief from what we got going on.
correct.
Yeah.
And what did that give you some hope?
Yeah.
Okay.
It gave me hope. Yeah. So, well, it didn't give me hope. It actually so I look at it like you have hope.
Yeah.
Then hope grows into faith.
Yeah.
And then there's actually a level above faith. It's the knowing.
Yes.
Now you're living in the knowing, right? So I looked at it like my hope was actually graduating to faith now.
Okay.
I got faith. This thing can happen. The hope instilled in me not to swallow the pill.
Yes.
Right? Like this isn't gonna be how life will continue.
Right.
But then it actually graduated to faith.
Okay.
Right? So now it's like, yeah, this thing can happen. We can overcome this. Right?
Okay.
You might not be able to find it in the other ways, but there's a way. It can happen. Yeah, so I watched that video, like I tell you, I watched that video so many times, I can't even count. I watched the other patients' videos. Immediately I showed my family. I'm like, hey, listen, like, take a look at this guy. And watch the videos. I'm like, this is Dr. Jim McCarty. And I think he knows how to get to the root of what's going on with me.
Right.
And I told him the next morning, I will call you. This was a Sunday evening that I discovered that video. Monday morning, first thing in the morning, I called you. I blew you up. I must have called you like 6 or 7 times. And you didn't answer. So you know how I felt. I'm like, man, this is probably a spam. Maybe he's not up for business anymore. Maybe he's not treating patients anymore. And so I'm like, all right. Tuesday, called you. Wednesday, called you. You didn't answer. I gave you a break for a day, I believe. Thursday, I did not call you. And then Friday morning, I'm like...
And I apologize that something was going on, and
yeah.
Anyway, I apologize. I didn't answer.
The conviction that I had that night when I saw that,
yeah.
the young man's face and researching occipital neuralgia and him describing, like, I just had that conviction, like, this is it. This
right.
is where I will be healed.
Yes.
This is where I'm being led to. Right? So Friday morning, I picked up the phone. I'm like, listen, I don't care if this doctor thinks I'm a bill collector, whatever. I'm a spam or I'm gonna blow you up until I get someone on the other line. So eventually you picked up on that Friday morning.
Yeah. You
picked up Friday morning. And when you picked up, I was kind of like in shock a little bit, like a little disbelief.
Yeah.
Like, he picked up.
Yeah.
So we spoke about it, and I'm like, I explained to you the whole story. I'm like, hey, this
I think
is what
we
happened.
talked 15, 20, 25
minutes. 30 minutes. You were actually at a break of teaching a seminar.
Okay.
Yeah, you were teaching a seminar, and you picked up and you was like, hey, I have a few minutes. I'm actually in the midst of teaching a seminar now, but spill it at me.
Yeah.
I spilled it at you.
Yeah.
I unloaded everything that I've been going through, all the pains, all the discomforts, and I described it as blatant as I could possibly. We ended up talking for 30 minutes, and then you sent me your fact sheet.
Mm-hmm.
I read that over and over and over and over and over again, and I just had like a knowing in my heart, like, this is it. In that pain, in that cloud with the veil in front of me, it was like we could see through the veil. I could see this is gonna work. This is gonna work. It's like something in me was like, stand here, don't give up.
Basically, when was that, roughly, you found me and called?
I found you November 2021.
Okay, November of 21, okay.
November 2021. And November 2021. And I was in Atlanta, Georgia. I had just moved to Atlanta, Georgia in September of 21. But prior to moving to Atlanta, I actually visited Dallas the summer of 2021. June 21, I visited Dallas because I was just trying to get a feel for the place.
Yep.
Because this is, a place that I kind of look forward to moving to. So I wanted to come down, get a feel. I visited Dallas. I was down in Houston for a while. And then went to Frisco.
Yep.
I saw a beautiful place. And I'm like, I think this might be it. Okay. I had a feeling there. I had a knowing there as well.
Okay.
Right? I had a feeling there. So I'm like, this might be it, man. So applied, signed a lease. I'm like, we're moving. We're moving to Dallas. Check the districts, the school districts, for my kids. I'm like, I like this place. This could be my speed.
Okay.
It didn't quite go as planned. We end up moving to Atlanta.
Yeah. And then you found me in November, right?
I found you in November of 2021.
Okay.
And I remember that, man. I was just.
I know we spoke, and then I sent you the frequently asked questions, and then you read that, and then we talked again a couple of times, and then eventually you worked out when you would be able to come up here. What's happened this week, Jeanito? We actually met face to face, 4 days ago?
4 days. 4 days.
Okay, 4 days ago. And what's happened? What's changed? Are you feeling any better? What difference is it making? Has it made already in your life?
I'm feeling. I feel like a transformation.
Tell me more.
I feel like I'm no longer living through a veil, no longer living through something in front of me.
Okay.
I feel a sense of clarity, a clarity that I've kind of yearned for. I've been kind of trying to reach for it these past couple years.
And most of the treatments that we did already this week have been on that right side, which happened to be where your pain symptoms were at. What's happened to the right eyeball, the back of the head on the, talk to me.
Yeah, it's just like, in a sense, like I feel like my skull, my head is kind of being placed in its right position, its linear position. Everything is falling into place, and I could feel flow through the right side of my head. I could feel blood flow. I could feel energy. My eyes are rotating a lot better. I see clearer. This whole room looks more first hand. It doesn't look like I'm looking through a veil anymore. Like everything feels like it's right before me.
What has happened? You and I have spoken about what has happened with your emotions and showing up in your face.
Yeah,
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so the emotions, I can't hide them.
How were they before? You were kind of flatlining.
I was bland.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the past couple years I've been bland. And it's not because I wanted to be bland. It's never been me. Anyone who knows me knows Jeanito's a jokester. Yeah. I like to clown. That's just who I've always been.
Yep.
I got bland. I got straight-faced. I got mean muggy. It's not me.
Serious.
Yeah, I got serious. Life became serious. This thing is not serious. Life is fun. Life is a joyous experience.
So the pain in the face, the right side of the face, the right eyeball, the right back side of the head, what's happened with that?
It's decreased. It's decreased like significantly, I'd say.
From on a scale of 1 to 10, 0 to 10.
0 to 10.
Where was it before you got here?
Yeah. When I walked through this door, no kidding, I was at a 10.
Okay.
But I would never admit that I was at a 10.
Right.
People always ask me, hey, how you feeling? At 8, 7. I just don't want to utter the words and admit that I'm at a level 10 pain. I don't want to speak those words out.
Okay.
But I've been living through level 10 pain for a lot of the time and just kind of having to fake it and smile and, you know.
And today, this week?
Today, this very moment right now, I could say I could say 3.
A 3, okay.
And that's just me being like, honestly, I'm so grateful to be at a 3, I could say 0.
Right. but the truth is, even at a 3,
yeah.
If this was all I ever did,
yeah.
You could live with
my
a 3.
Life changed, my life changed from night and day. It changed at 360 spun.
So from a 10 to a 3.
Yeah.
And
360.
Yeah, and we're not finished yet. Okay, we've unlocked 2 skull plates out of 6. So we're about a third of the way through the process. A third to a fourth of the way through the process. But even right now, if I had told you a week ago that we were going to take you from a 10 to a 3, it would be almost unthinkable.
Yeah.
How could you go from a 10 to a 3 in a week, in 4 days, 3.5 days, when you had been suffering for 2.5 years?
Some questions aren't for us to answer, and I just give it to the high.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's happened. I came out of 10 and I'm less than half of that.
And you can't make this stuff up.
Can't make it up. I wouldn't want to make it up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to make stuff like that up because pain, living with pain,
Yeah.
I don't wish that on anybody. And no human deserves that, to live life through pain, like through immense pain like that.
Right.
So I wouldn't want to speak anything if it's not the truth.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's dropped to a 3 because I know that if we got it to drop this much in 3.5 days, again, it should give you ability to see through to as far down the road as you want, as to the purpose that God has for you and that you're going to make it. And just real briefly, what purpose do you have? You told me that you want to use your voice to sing, to help the children, right?
Yes.
Can you just share with that, just a little bit, sure.
Yeah. So these past couple years have shown me that despite all the discomforts that I've went through, the physical, not being able to perform as I once did physically.
Yes.
Can't run as fast, can't run as much miles, can't lift as much anymore. But it taught me one thing, the value of this.
Yes.
The voice, right? So it's just, it put me in a place where it's like, it revealed to me my purpose, in a sense, these past couple of years. It revealed to me my purpose, and that I'm on this earth to use my voice. And when I say use my voice, it's not necessarily to perform, to sing, to be a music artist or things of that nature. It's just my voice to send messages, to vibrate, to teach. Also to be a student too. Yeah. Right?
And you're originally from Haiti? Your background is Haiti?
Well, yeah, that's I was actually born in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, you were born in Brooklyn?
Yeah, born in Brooklyn. But my parents are from Haiti.
Your parents are from Haiti, and so you actually speak French, right?
I speak Creole with some French.
Okay. And you were actually singing something for me that was in the Creole French, and it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. Yeah. And you named your daughter with...
I named my daughter Joie.
Joie, for joy, right?
Joy, yes. She was born during the pandemic and during the peak of this whole experience for me. She was born in the middle of the 2 years. So when she was born, we decided like the perfect. I felt it was a little selfish. I didn't tell this to T yet.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if it's anything that I desire the most right now, out of life right now, it's joy and serenity.
Yeah.
If it's anything that I just want the most, it's anything, a glimpse of it. I don't need everlasting. I can get it. I'm open to it, of course.
Yeah.
But if I get just a glimpse of joy and serenity from all the stuff that I've been going through,
yes,
it's beautiful. So we named her Joie. Joie is joy in French.
There you go.
And her middle name is Serene.
All right.
So
that's beautiful.
She came and she held in my and I actually held her.
Yeah.
It was actually like the physical form of joy and serenity.
That's neat. That's a wonderful story. And anyway, I'm happy for you. I'm glad to see your smile. You did not have a smile on the first day when you came in. Not like this. So
thank you.
And you said also earlier this morning you felt a change in your upper jaw, the palate.
Yes. So it felt like in a sense my teeth, like my top row is actually sitting differently.
Okay.
Well, it's structured differently, obviously. It doesn't move like the bottom, but it feels different. It feels like it's adjusted, it's right, it's in the middle, and it didn't once feel that way. Like my bite wasn't like balanced. It wasn't aligning with each other.
Right.
Now my bite feels like, that's what it feels like. The roof of my mouth feels like it got actually higher a little bit. Like it's a little,
Good. That's great. And you also mentioned that you were waking up in the middle of the night due to pain, tossing, turning, go to the bathroom, stuff.
Yep.
And then this week, even after the first day of the balloons, I believe you told me that you slept through the night.
Yeah, I slept. One of the best sleeps that I've had in years. I still got up a little bit throughout the night.
Yeah.
I guess, the body has to break out of that cycle of waking up in the middle of the night. But I got up in the middle of the night, but when I get up, it's like I'm up, but this feels cool. Right? I'm not up in like level 10 pain anymore.
Right.
So I'm just down for the process, and I believe in the process. My faith is actually strong. I'm actually living in the knowing now.
Yep.
So this stuff is true.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate you. And anything else that you want to tell anybody that might happen to see this that
just
is skeptical?
Yeah, if you are skeptical, that's a natural human response, I would say. I'm usually one to overthink things and could this be true? Could this be that? But for some reason, when I saw that young man that day, I had a conviction. And being here in the seat where he was at that day, kind of being able to tell it firsthand, this stuff is true. Like I no longer have this pain. Like it's not, obviously there is some stuff going on, but we're on our first week. We said we have about 3 more weeks to go.
Yeah.
So we're on our first week, and this first week I would be grateful if life was to go like this, and there's still ways to go.
Right.
So this stuff is true. First you have hope, it graduates to faith, and then it graduates to knowing. And then you're in full service.
Great. Thanks, Jeanito.